Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Awaken with Deb. I am Deb Ashby. I spell that with two B's. And here we talk about finding our soul's essence. We are talking about reaching comfort over chaos, finding that inner peace, that the inner essence that is always just begging and itching for us to pay attention to it, for us to witness ourselves. They say to bring yourself back into your inner child. What did you see yourself doing a lot as a child? Like, what was something you were actively either doing as a child or visualizing yourself as what your future would be as a child? Like, what do I want to be when I grow up? They say to think back to those moments. And that's because those moments are the moments where we weren't fully programmed yet. It takes up until age 7 to where our sponge abilities start to harden like a wall a little bit. And so up until age 7, we have a little bit of a clearer mind, a little more free, open opinions, or more of a sponge for all kinds of information. And this is designed to work on our benefit, but for the most of us, it has worked against us. And so now we have these generations in our adult ages where we are uncovering all this programming. We're understanding that the way humans have been living and the systems that have been set up maybe aren't the best ways of living. I'm going to pause for just a moment. I am so sorry. I probably could have muted that. It's been really windy here, and so there's a lot of stuff going around up in the air. And after a summer full of fires, yes, the lungs are, they're getting it. All right, so we want to talk about our soul essence. And today I want to talk about how do we uncover our soul essence the most. Yes, there's tips and tools and products and courses and meditations, all these things that we can do, right? But I want to take it to basics in a sense that may not be for everyone. But I want to talk about energy of the star systems. Okay. Here on Earth, it's very 3D, as I'm sure you've heard by now if you have found my channel. There's this term called 3D and 5D. And ultimately, we're using those terms very broadly, that anytime we mention 3D, we're talking about the physical structures of science that have told us that's how our world exists. And anytime we're talking about 5D, we're talking about the unseen. We're talking about the energies that exist that we don't have the capabilities of sensing. Not entirely true. It is said in science that I think it's like in the 90 percentile of, there's like 90% of information all around us that ourselves as a human body, from what science can prove, is not detectable. We are living in a reality that we don't even know we are living in. And that's where cleaning up our energy comes into play, because that will clean up our psychic gifts. That will clean up your ability to feel energy, to see auras, to read people's minds. Maybe you're more in tune to body language, of which that's probably a trauma response. So there's all these things that go into play to who we are as a person. And in the 3D realm, we like to think about chemicals and molecules. I'm thinking of I don't know why the name is blanking right now, the periodic table, right? We have these building blocks, these physical building blocks that we have broken atoms down to, like, it is this in the Platonic table and this. And if we combine these, we get this, right? How to make a table, how to make dish soap. I don't know. Do you know how? So, and I said table's probably made of wood. That probably wasn't the best example. How do you make a phone? All the things in a phone, how do you make that out of earth, right? So it's science, it's technology, it's taking compounds, putting them together in a certain way to create a certain thing. So how do our souls become created? How does our energy essence become created? Firstly, it is everything I mentioned in the beginning. We are sponges up till age 7. We are completely blank slates to be able to be primed, prepped, programmed, and enslaved, really, manipulated and molded to however someone else would please, or how society incidentally creates that. And with our soul and our energy, it goes off of the energies of the star systems. And so if you were to think of the star systems as our periodic table, but for our soul, that's where you get the zodiac signs. That's where you get human design. If you don't know what human design system, I don't know if the word system is included, but human design is basically like the zodiac on steroids. It can seem really overwhelming in the beginning, so take it slow and find some channels and mentors that really break it down, because it seems really big and expansive when they're talking about all these channels and this big map of the human body, but you can break it down to there's 4.5 categories of your personality. And I know that sounds really limiting, but if you can just break it down to those, find which category you fit within that and start there, you will be amazed at how accurate this information is. The zodiac and human design is not woo woo Saturday morning newspaper entertainment. It is real life science of how our souls and energies are created. The zodiac is so dead on, and the archetypes that exist within these zodiacs they exist for a reason. Whatever the reason of our existence is, we know, make sure that light's on, we know that this isn't humans first. We do know that there are ancient civilizations that had better knowledge, that had more wisdom. And if nothing else, I know that because we can feel it. We know. If you're watching this channel, you probably know, because videos like mine don't show up in your algorithms if you're not attuned to this energy, if you're not awakening to expanding the electrical signal that is inside you. And expanding that electrical signal can be really scary and uncomfortable. And one way to get uncomfortable with being uncomfortable is to understand it. One of the ways to eliminate fear is to understand the fear. Why are you afraid of getting to know yourself? Most people are afraid to get to know themselves because other people didn't like them. But if you get to know yourself in the sense of what your zodiac is and what your human design is and what your building blocks are, then you can understand who yourself is more, that it's not something you need to take personally. And then you can learn how to work with it. It's like someone learning that they have ADHD and getting a medication that they help, or even just being aware of it to catch themselves in moments to be able to change patterns. It's a lot like that. So human design and zodiacs. If you're feeling a call to understand yourself more, if you're feeling a call to understand others more, it's a good place to start. It's an excellent place to start. Human design is actually really good for understanding other people. If you have family, if you have family members, once I looked up my children's human design, my ability to relate improved drastically. I'm not even kidding. Like, it was almost night and day to where I was like, oh, I understand you a little bit better. And I mean, this is my child, so children aren't meant to be psychologists and personality professionals. No, it's, as a parent, it's our job to be the psychologist professional and professionals of every single category involved in life. Being a single parent is great. If you are a single parent, people have no idea. Like, you cannot describe what being a single parent is like. Like, even to people that have a partner that are like, oh wow, I can't imagine life without my partner. Like, yeah, you can't. You can't. And people that don't have kids, oh wow, you really can't. Oh, it's amazing. Okay, so this is Awaken with Deb. We're awakening to our inner essence. We are breaking down the limiting beliefs that have held us back. We are we're remembering who we actually are as a person, because these last few generations on earth have been kind of weird. Last few decades, I won't say generations, let's say decades. These last few decades have been kind of weird, and if you've been around for those decades, we all need to get a little detox going on. We're getting ready for the new world, because these next few decades are unprecedented, beyond what you can imagine. I see it. I know what's coming. That's why I'm doing these videos, because humanity needs all the help that it can get, and it needs all the light workers that it can get spread across the globe, anchoring in light and spreading their messages among their circles and within their workplaces, and creating new systems, because things are changing. I know my eyes just drifted off there. That was a whole episode of vision that was going on right there. Yep. If you're watching this, this was meant for you. I didn't plan on this subject at all. 1133, as I said that. This was, I was maybe even going to go for a hike this morning to try to connect a little bit more for some inspiration for a video. And I was not sitting down to set up stuff. And then it just came, and I was like, oh, well, here we are. Before I knew it, my muscles were setting up the video stuff, and here this message is. So when that happens, I know that that's a message for someone, because that's what my gift is that as the messages come through from the other side, I have the gift of allowing the receiving of those messages, and I take the time to give them back out to the world. So if you're watching this, that message may have been for you. And if not, take what resonates, let some seeds plant, maybe share it. Maybe it resonated for someone that you know that you want to share it with. And I was going to say something else with that. This video wouldn't have found you if you weren't vibrating with this message. My name's Deb. Follow the page for more messages. I guess that they call it subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe. Like, comment below what your zodiac is. Comment below if you've dove into human design. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Have you had success with it? Does it confuse you? Did it confuse you, but you found a really good tip that helped you understand it more? Share it below for others. And maybe share where you're at, if you feel called to. Where in this world are you anchoring light to be spread out? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. My name's Deb, Deborah Kaye. Have a blessed day.